my God. It's the post Grammy show. This was a pretty fantastic Grammys for hip hop.
3,000 best in a while. I mean, last year was pretty good. Kendrick won everything. And then this year is really good. Kendrick won everything.
Yo,
that's what he does.
You know how many people have Kendrick won record of the year 2 years in a row? You know who else has done that? U2, Roberta Flack, and Billie Eilish. That's it. That's it. That's the only people who've won record of the year 2 years in a row. That is insane company. Those are three of the great, and Kendrick one of them, great artists of all time.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And it's so narrow and very like those are like they're not the same genres. It's just a very narrow and niche place for all of them. Like they exist in their own space.
And Luther is a different record than Not Like Us. And it has a different energy. There's a different, it's not like Kendrick just did the same thing again. He does his thing, but these are entirely different records.
Very different records. We're talking about Not Like Us battle record, and then a straight melodic rap song, a song that completely calls on the sample and interpolation of Luther's song and then creates its own experience and vibe out of it. That's why I think it didn't win Song of the Year. Like I think he won Song of the Year and Record of the Year last year, right? And Song of the Year is a writing award, and Record of the Year is the actual recording, the music, the sound,
the performance of the record,
all of those things, right?
Yeah.
It's because it's the production, performance, and everything that goes into the actual master, right?
So like, I mean, like, just if you don't understand, like, if you scream "Hey Ya" in an amazing way, you're not going to win Song of the Year. That's a very simplistic writing thing. Just scream. But you scream that to where people hear it in their soul, you could win Record of the Year because it's an incredible performance.
Yeah, or you screamed it to this amazing musical backdrop where it's like, how did you come up with this? They're awarding you for this sound more so than the complete writing of the whole thing, right? Either way, this man did it twice. He deserves it all, like he said. And like, if you clicked on this off the clickbait title that we have, you got here, and you know exactly what he deserves. This whole thing. He came over here again and won it. I think he would have won for Record of the Year. I mean, the Album of the Year, which we're gonna get into, if it wasn't for Bad Bunny in the sense of the climate that we are in, the importance of what his movement was and what that album did within this country and in this space. I think GNX would have won everything because he won a Record of the Year.
I mean, Kendrick does something that is so incredibly rare in that the real heads love him. The real hip hop deep fans are like, he's the fucking guy. And also intelligent music fans who are not hip hop heads at all at the Pulitzer Committee, at the Grammys, are like, we like him as well. So you are communicating to, you know, the true hip hop lovers and people who know nothing about hip hop but have a great respect for music. And it's so difficult.
Casual fans.
Yes, and it's so difficult to appeal to both of those groups. Usually the rapper who is going to win Grammys, is going to win a Pulitzer, you know, we'd probably be like, he's fine, but he's not really hitting for us. He's hitting for them because they're not hip hop. Or if you're like hot in the streets, you're probably not going to hit it at the level of a Grammy and a Pulitzer and a TED Talk and that sort of thing. So that he's bridging both is incredible.
Yeah, and it's what was great about this Grammys as far as for hip hop was that the Clips, who are completely street level hip hop at the highest form, were recognized. You know, that being recognized and as Album of the Year nominated, that's the first time a street rap record being in the Album of the Year nomination. Granted, you know, obviously Pharrell and there's so much around them that gives them that credibility.
Pharrell opens the door for a white Grammy voter to be like, oh, this is luxury music. This is beautifully crafted music. They trust Pharrell. They like Pharrell. So he gives them an easy, and his music
Yeah.
gives them an easy in so they can understand what's going on here. If this was, let's just say, more hip hop and not with Pharrell's luxury finishes, this would be harder on a Grammy audience.
3,000%. And but either way, it's still the hardest album we've heard in decades. And it was an album of the year nomination. To me, as a clipster, it should have won album of the year. There's not a better album in that bunch to me personally, but maybe that's my fan bias. But it kind of went exactly. We did this show with Curtis before when we heard the nominations, and it kind of went exactly how we said. We had like a whole hour where we were just guessing, and in the end we realized, oh, Kendrick's gonna win everything basically, and they're gonna give the clips that one performance Grammy because of how good they did, right? So they won the best rap performance Grammy. We even said that it's probably going to be Bad Bunny or Lady Gaga winning the album of the year. So we kind of guessed it very well. Just want to put that out, a pat on the back to ourselves. Did our thing. The Kendrick, he said, someone says, Marty McFly. Oh, we miss y'all, by the way. We haven't talked to y'all in a hot minute. It's good to see y'all. Marty McFly says, the Kendrick hate definitely heating up. Folks tired of the Grammy only celebrating one at a time. I don't think that's exactly what happened when there was a lot of people there. He just beat out other people. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
I mean, his brand recognition and the recognition of the quality of his brand is so high within Grammy voters, that sort of audience, that he's going to have a dominant impact on any category that he's in at a Grammy context. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like that, but it's like A24. Anything that comes out of A24 right now, we're like, oh, it's got to be the shit because it's A20. Anything that comes out from Kendrick, people like, it's got to be the shit. Even if you don't understand hip hop, that's the thing. We already felt like that about him 10 years ago. But the Grammy audience at that level is like, they believe Kendrick is the greatest rapper in the world. He makes the best hip hop music in the world. So anything he wins, it's going to be hard to compete with him in a Grammy context.
Yeah, I agree with that. That we like 10 years ago is Damn. That's when Damn dropped, right?
Yeah.
And we already like
even before
people
that
on my side. Yeah, before that, we were saying that he was the brightest talent and star coming in hip hop since decades before, right? But at the 2017, people were saying like, wait a minute, this guy needs to be put in a different conversation. That was 2017. When Damn dropped, we're like, hey, he's in a different conversation. You already know how I feel about it within here. I'm accepting of the new. I want to usher in the new. So this guy to me is the GOAT. You guys need to reach Kendrick level when it comes to, if you ain't dropping 5 classic albums, pushing the envelope this much, you can't be in this GOAT conversation anymore. You know what I'm trying to say? He's in that conversation. The one thing that I say that is interesting, the like criticism that people have with all this is that him getting all this love from these established institutions as an artist, because people say we don't care about the Grammys, right? We shouldn't care if the Grammys get it wrong, but we should care if the Grammys get it right. We definitely should care if the Grammys get it right. That allows ourselves to further push ourselves into spaces that we were not allowed in or not. There's still ceilings. There's glass ceilings. There's spaces that we need to get into. We're just so high up as a culture that it's hard to see. It's very thin walls, but they're still there.
I mean, every year with the Grammys and the Oscars as well, we go through this thing where, some Black art or artist is ignored or snubbed. And there's always the discussion of, we should not care about the white man's trophies. We should do our own thing. And my problem with that, I'm not saying you're exactly saying that, but my problem with that notion is that the Grammys and the Oscars do have an impact on careers, and you can't just ignore them. And I do care when Grammy gets it wrong, because that has an impact on an Oscar, because that has an impact on people's careers. I love it when they get it right, and the amazing breakthrough of Kendrick to penetrate even their consciousness to where even they cannot say that he's not an incredible musician. And he's doing, I mean, like, he is killing it at the Grammys at a level that nobody else ever has. 2 records of the years in a row is unbelievable.
So well
And,
deserved.
you know, and I love that. And I feel bad for the people who aren't winning deserved Grammys and deserved Oscars, but like, thank God for some of us getting that.
Let's say this, because when I say that we shouldn't care when we get it wrong. When I'm saying we shouldn't care, because it feels like I maybe misspoke. We shouldn't devalue ourselves because they got it wrong. That's what I meant. Like, it doesn't take away our asset or your value because they got it wrong. They just got it wrong.
Sinners is still great, even if it doesn't win
That's what
Best
I meant.
Picture. Yeah. And if it makes you happy, if that album makes you happy, then it won. At least in your life, it doesn't, like, yeah. But and
the Grammys are a musician's Super Bowl. I was gonna make even a video about this, that like why the Grammys matters to artists. It's like we don't have anything else. Everything is so segmented. You could have your own career with millions of people knowing you and not be acknowledged by one. You know what I'm saying? No one even know who you are on a larger mainstream scale. This is all that is still here to homogenize the entire music industry and pay respects. And they've been doing good in the last 3 years. Like, this best new artist category has real artists that are really making motion moves in the culture. Olivia Dean, Somber, all these artists make sense.
I want to talk about Bad Bunny, but before that, because you do sometimes think as a civilian that winning a Grammy is cool, but performing on the show and doing that performance that people remember, that is special, that defines you to the TV audience and the industry in like a new way, like that can be even more so. Like, do artists think about that? Like, the opportunity to perform on the show and kill it can be even better for your career than not all the Grammys, but most of the Grammys.
Yes. First of all, how do you feel about all the performances? I didn't like the best new artist performances. Only probably like 2 of them. And last year's, they were amazing. This year's, Leon Thomas was fire. Olivia Dean, I'm a super fan, so it's like she can't do any wrong. And then I like Somber. I like that kid. But that Cat's Eye K-pop group, I saw a comment and I agreed with it. I looked at them and I was like, something about this feels racist. I don't know what it is. Something about, like, I feel not even racist. I just felt offended. I don't know why. There's nothing offensive happening, but I felt I'm looking at this and
I don't know why.
Why am I offended by this performance?
I don't like it, and I don't know why.
I was walking with them too in concept. I was like, "Oh, Cat's Eye, a world pop group."
I think Tyler and Gaga were the highlight performances for me, and Lady Gaga did her normal Strange next level fashion passion shit, which she does, which she's awesome for. I appreciate that Tyler put a lot of thought into his moment, had a guest star in what was his guest star? Was it Regina? Not Regina. Who was his guest star? Tyler's guest star in the middle of the audience is yelling.
Oh, it was Regina.
Yeah, Regina King. Yeah. Very cool guest star in the middle of it. Very cool little bit of stagecraft, and then he gets into the Ferrari and crashes into a person and goes on performing anyway, while other people on the stage are like, "What happened to the person you just crashed into?" And he's rocking out like he doesn't care. He doesn't notice. It was kind of irreverent. I kind of thought that was kind of funny that he like created this spectacle and then pretended to not notice it. And then he gets sort of flattened and crushed and maybe killed at the end. And like, he put on a show. And I appreciate when they can make it into a bit of theater and it's not just, I just stood there and sang the song. Because sometimes the Grammys is like, I just stood there and sang the shit out of the song, partly because you want to sing it the best you can, and the audience in the house really appreciates it. Um, but you know, Tyler is really special as an artist, not just as a rapper, right?
That's who he is. Yeah.
He's a very good rapper, but he is a great artist. So it's like he thought, like, let's go black and white, give him the whole uniform, and then change in the middle of the joint and like go to a different set and a different like
He must have pre-recorded this because it switched and he's in a different outfit. I was like, how did this happen?
Houseway.
Same thing with this. Something happened on stage that killed me. And it's the simplest thing. I'm watching the beautiful clips of Pharrell performance. Pharrell has no mink coat. End of Malice's verse, he has this mink coat that came out of nowhere. Who gave this nigga the mink coat? I have no idea. I didn't see nobody come on. Mink coat just appeared.
I mean,
either way, this is where he also addressed all the backlash. Like we did a show, everybody talked about what he was saying, what he was doing as a kid, and he had bars about how him being influenced by MF Doom, the KMD shirt, and all the thing, the Loiter Squad clan thing. He's basically referencing saying, "Oh, you ain't Dave Chappelle." Basically saying like he was trying to do Dave Chappelle, Clinton Bigsby. That's the perspective that he's on with it, and all that. So he dressed all these things and said that some cool bars, and then the Regina King cutscene is him basically you saying his mentors or giving him mentorship in the idea of like, don't let these people take you down. They're trying to keep you back there, but you've changed and you're taking this somewhere. And he also referenced how like all the people around me are black and I'm doing this. It's like, this is where I'm at now. This is where I'm at now with my blackness and my perspective. And this wasn't self-hate. This was me in a different space. I liked it. I enjoyed the performance.
Run the Tyler joint a little bit more because this Chromacopia section could be pre-recorded because you don't see the audience here. The other part when he goes into
this has to be pre-recorded.
What was the last album? The LL Cool J album?
Don't tap the glass.
That when he goes into Don't Tap the Glass iconography, that section, you see the audience. So clearly that's now, right? That's real time. And you
hear the audience right here. He's spitting all the bars, and we're not playing it because we ain't trying to get striked. Yeah. Right here, he has the dynamite too. So he's giving you the story. It's like y'all thought I was dead, and the whole idea of thought I was dead is like you think that I'm not relevant. That I'm not that guy.
Yeah. So wait. What I wanted also is yeah. Yeah.
So it cut to this. This is him now.
Wait, is that a body double? Hold on, keep going. I just want to see if it's a body double.
It isn't. Let's go. Because he turns around.
You could do that too, right? It's tight on him. It may not. Okay.
Wait.
He goes out of frame.
Oh yeah, you're right. He goes out of frame.
Right? Clearly out of frame.
Yeah, right? You're right.
Before that, it was somebody else because we didn't have enough information to be certain that it was him before. Right? Out of frame.
Yeah, especially when you don't see his face. That makes sense. I'm dumb.
No. I mean, like, this is Hollywood. They are trying to trick you. So, like,
no, that's what I'm trying to say. Since you don't see his face right here, let's look at it because that.
Yeah, that's not him. That's not him. That's why
that's
we don't.
That's not him.
That's the whole point of Regina King. Like, we love her.
Exactly.
But
I didn't even pay attention to that.
So he can change.
Somebody in the comments said movie magic.
movie magic.
Fucking
magic. And using him as a decoy allows the casual watcher who's not gonna fucking
which is me
film
I'm snacking.
Not gonna Zapruder film it like us, like what about this? What about that? In the movie,
so,
if you can't see their face, it's not them.
It's mainly this that got me. He leaves the shot and comes in, whole different other swag. And then this other body double after he runs into him.
Oh, wait, does he run over himself?
Yeah, he kills himself. So this is another theory that I have. My theory right now is that this Bama, that's it. This Bama is going to drop another album this year.
You think he's going back to Saint Chroma?
No, he killed Saint Chroma, and then at the
Oh,
end of this entire
he died.
situation, right? He kills the don't tap the
Yeah.
glass guy.
Yes, he dies.
That
Yeah.
means another thing is coming. He did that with the last album.
He did what?
So right before Chromacopia, he did a video where he had all his prior versions of himself from when he was like a kid, all the
Right.
different aesthetics, and
Right.
killed them. And broke it down to himself. Like he took off the mask and was just him, shirtless, and this was me. Then Chromacopia comes. And he had an image of like a guy in a green suit in that video. And that's like a year before Chromacopia comes out.
You mean this is what it is to be a real artist, where there would be death, at least symbolic death, and reinvention. When you look at Madonna, Gaga, Beyonce, Bowie, Prince, there's a persona for a period of time, maybe for one album, maybe for two, but then like U2 as well, like, and then they change, like, and it's organic and hopefully authentic. You know, some people are like Madonna wasn't authentic, whatever, that's a different conversation, but there's an organic change and they come back with a different sound and a different look, and it's a different. I just went through this. I watched The Moment, the new Charlie XCX mockumentary, and this is not a spoiler, but part of the point, and she's talked about this publicly, is the purposeful destruction of Brat. That like that was huge. That was totally identified with me. Now I want to get rid of that whole thing and be something else, because as an artist, I need to move on to another thing. And here's Tyler saying, Tap on the Glass did its thing. Now we're killing that. We're moving on to a new thing. He's never going to like cling to something too long. It's always grow, change, reinvent, grow, change. It's both the artist wanting to do something new and wanting to surprise the audience.
Yeah, and that's we love artists like that, right? Like when they do it right. Some people try to do it, but then there's the other ones who are just basically them the whole time, which is kind of Jay-Z, even though they have different modes, but it's like it's still him, and you're just kind of growing with his
see, hip hop is not meant to be overtly performative. The whole vibe is like, I just rolled out of bed and I'm just spitting these rhymes and like I'm just dope. Practice? I don't practice. Styling?
I think that's changed. I think that's a certain type of hip hop. I don't like that as a statement as hip hop is doing that. And I heard Will.i.am talk about this. We have taken a section and golden era of hip hop and claimed that as all of hip hop, and that's not true. Niggas was performative.
I mean, there are some people who are more performative, but like R&B and rock and roll. And I'm not saying one is better than the other because I'm hip hop first, so I'm just defining what hip hop is. R&B in particular is very overtly performative. We practice these steps. We have matching outfits. You know, we got a whole thing for you. The hip hop vibe is so much of like, yeah, I just showed up. I'm just naturally fly. I don't practice. I think that still so many rappers present.
I think that's trash
of a natural genius and a natural style flyness. And like, you know, surely there's times when people have a precise performance, you know, Kendrick and Doechii and many others, but like quite often it's like, I'm just fly. I don't need to practice. That's the vibe that they're giving off.
That's definitely the vibe they're giving, and that's performative. That's the issue in the reality, and that's a problem that rappers are having right now. That's the thing that we've gone through. Whereas Kendrick is showing you, I put in work. That's why people love it.
Sure.
He's showing you that I put in work, and I'm not even here to show you the work. You know that there's work because this can't exist without that type of level of thinking and work.
But you see the overtness of the R&B performative nature. There's no question that we are doing the routines and wearing the styles, the group styles that were chosen for us, or at least that we chose, but we're all dressed together. We're all moving and dancing together. Hip hop would never do a group performance where everybody is in sync together wearing the same things. That's R&B.
No, I don't agree with that at all. That's freaking MC Hammer.
No, he was alone. He didn't have he had backup dancers, but that was part of why we
What
did.
about Kwame, Big Daddy Kane?
We go back to
Kid
the
and Play.
90s. You go back to the 90s with people who we really bristled at of like, is MC Hammer really one of us? He's very R&B coded, right? Like we really like Kid and Play danced together. So I mean, like, you know, but like I think more like EPMD, like I'm just standing here, Redman, fucking Wu-Tang. There's 9 of them. They would never dress the same. They would never dance the same. The show doesn't even look like they planned.
They did dress the same, first of all, and they're very performative, but they are in a different way. I hear what you're saying, but one thing I want to make clear to audience and what I'm pushing back on, which is fun, is that hip hop is way bigger than that one section of hip hop, which is I'm just the coolest nigga in the world. That was brought into fruition by niggas from Rock Kim, kind of, Cool G Rap, kind of, but really Biggie and Jay-Z.
Well, I mean, Run DMC
this
and
is
LL.
easy for me. I'm natural at this. I'm the coolest nigga in the room.
LL Cool J was his general conversation. I'm so cool.
He was the baddest. He was like, I'm the baddest, and he performed. He put his all in, super energetic performing. MTV Unplugged. That's not Jay-Z. Jay-Z's Unplugged, and this is LL Cool J, 2 mics rapping and no shirt sweating out here. That's performative. Whereas Jay-Z literally unplugged, niggas what did he have, his Che Guevara shirt with a freaking giant Jesus piece, and my band is going to be the one that's doing all the work. There's a difference. He brought that, ushered in that existence, and people really need to like. What I don't like is it's looking at it in one sense, like this is hip hop.
It's a drug dealer aesthetic.
Exactly.
Like,
the drug dealers are not the only niggas in the
I'm not performing for you, but you know, I mean, even before Jay was hot, there was a notion of like, I didn't come here to perform for you. What? Like, I feel like I know before Jay-Z, the vibe was like, you know, a hip hop show might be wild because niggas came with their whole block. The block stands behind them while they pace the stage. They didn't plan. They didn't prep. They just wreck the mic and drop it and walk off. Like, is there a show here? Like,
not if you was at a Busta Rhymes show. Busta Rhymes and Spliff Star on that damn stage. They are performing. This is all I'm trying to say. All this shit is freaking hip hop, and there's no one way of doing it.
LONS. It was like, it was chaos. Busta did his, I mean, Busta is doing his thing, but Charlie and Dinko are just standing there while he's, you know, it wasn't like we have a dance that we're supposed to be doing when he's doing his shit. It's like we stand
Even
here.
Run DMC had little routines and performative stuff, and like, I mean,
little, but they wouldn't really dance. It was like we were walking, we might walk together at some point of the
Every
show.
type of dancing ain't the same, Torre, but we're talking about performance. But we could move on and go to the performances of the actual event. Tyler's was great. I love the Clips for performance. I love how you had the chorus in the background.
Yeah.
Shout out to Virginia. Secondly, it's White when he's performing his thing, saying that I'm so far behind. And I'm glad they did So Far Behind and not the John Legend record. I didn't feel like crying at the Grammys. And then Pusha comes in, it turns red. He's spitting that 3/4 verse, so because the beats in 3/4, so that's beautiful. Then it goes back to White and it keeps transitioning. And then he does this mink coat trick that I don't know how he did. And then the mink coat come out of nowhere, dripping in Louis as they should. Great performance. Who else performed? I like Leon Thomas's performance.
Who did we say we loved? We loved Bilal.
Bilal was crazy good. Woo! Crazy good. I looked up tickets in Paris when I saw that. I was like, where Bilal? He played in Paris? We got to go to Paris.
I was not. Bilal brought the soul. I loved that. I mean, you know, I appreciate the whole anti-ice nature of the whole show that just kept coming up from Billie Eilish to Bad Bunny to others, and like the pins that everyone was rocking. Like, fuck yeah, like fucking say something. Shit.
Yeah, there's some people who said something, some people that didn't. But
I mean, I don't
it is what it
assume
is.
at the Grammys, if you didn't say anything that you're against us. I don't assume that, but I do appreciate the folks who speak out. Wait, do you think that Bad Bunny won Album of the Year because a significant number of voters voted for him on a more political basis? Obviously,
Yeah.
not 100%. It's a great album. People have tremendous respect for the album. So the English speakers who made their way through the album probably have respect for it. This is one of the biggest artists in the world. But is there a significant, do you think, portion of voters who voted for him because of the political implications of voting for him?
If you didn't listen to this album as the audience listening to this, which you should like this video right now, you don't know that this album is political. It's a huge political statement. So the album itself projects what we are in right now. So that's why it matters. So that's part of the beauty and artistry of the album. So of course they picked it because of that. Because if you understand what that album is about and what the statement of that album is, which against basically showing love to his homeland, his existence, as well as a Latino in America, and that resistance that comes to that in an album, then you understand that that's part.
Wait, do you think voters, Grammy voters, are voting for him because of the political message? I mean,
Yes.
some are, but you think not the political message of this specific album, but the message of supporting him in a moment of ice when
I
he's
think it's
going up.
twofold. I think
Yeah,
it's twofold. First of all, Bad Bunny is Bad Bunny, right? So he's
yeah,
the biggest thing. He's the hottest thing smoking, anyways. So
yeah,
he has the credentials beyond any
yeah,
political piece.
yeah.
Then he made a highly political album. Then it's highly successful. And then the time calls for like the industry to kind of make a statement. I think all those factors play into it, and it's not just one.
Because I mean,
That's
I would love to say that he won because it's a great album that people like, not just because of the political statement for the Grammys giving him Album of the Year. But you're like, you can't leave off the political statement of it all.
you can't leave off of it because I think that matters. That's part of the like that's like getting a Grammy for what's going on during the time period. It's like, yeah, look what you did. This is great. This is great art. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many Grammy voters actually understand the album because it's not in English.
No, but you were told. You got to understand, like, especially nowadays, like people are even in the comments, do we care about a Grammy? Nowadays, there's more people who are versed in these genres because if you have a Latin Grammy, people have to be in that culture and in that music industry to be able to vote for those things. A lot of the people have to be. There's obviously people that don't to an extent. You have to be in there and you pick which category that you go into. So it's people that know about it that are voting on it. Secondly, now all 15,000 of you are voting on the big awards and you're going against each other. You learn about the album. There's talks about it. People understand that within the music industry that this is what Bad Bunny did. This is a great album because this, that, and that. You already have the talking points. They actually send that out to people. So it's like these consideration things that they do. Like you get the information about the album, then you go listen to it. Some people don't even listen to these damn albums and look at the talking points, and be like, yeah, that's the one that should win because I heard this and that. That happens.
I'm sure.
And like listening to the entire album. The reality of it is that these people know about these albums and what they mean to that culture more so now than they did before.
Just going back to Kendrick and the top, because GNX was a stretching of the year of defeating Drake. It was like, right, the last sort of musical thing he did in that year of battling and destroying Drake. So this record of the year from a GNX song, GNX was a year ago, continues the longest victory lap in the history of hip hop and maybe perhaps the history of America. That he continues to get awards and plaudits and love for all the things he did while he was stomping on Drake.
Here's the thing about it. Kendrick is from the beginning is hip hop MCU, right? He's the Kendrick cinematic universe. And to be a Kendrick fan means that you buy into this universe that he created. Same way as Tyler Creator. The thing is, Kendrick's fandom keeps expanding. And in order to be a fan, you have to buy into this idea of how everything's connected, how great lyrically is, all these things. So it's impossible when something's in you like that. Like I'm a Marvel fan, but Marvel fan since the comics, so I'm like really about that life. That's I'm really about that life. You feel me? Like don't. And so when you
nothing to brag about.
Oh, it's very much something to brag about.
It's the comic books.
Hell yeah, nigga. I'm a MC, nigga. What do you think I talk to Method Man about? Nigga, it's comic books. Anyways, what these I'm gonna get into that too. You try to talk shit. What was I about to say? So when you buy into Kendrick Lamar as an entity, it lives with you. So people are living with this music and living with the concepts. So every day, that's why someone could watch videos on Kendrick Lamar every day, because there's so many things to pick out and see, because it's great art. And that's what great art and concepts do. And that's what Marvel is. That's what Kendrick is. That's what Tyler is. That's what great artists are. You know, I can look at a Jean-Michel Basquiat painting the same time, different places in the world, the same painting, and find something new about it. They'll collect different collections. I did it in Paris. I do it here in DC. I'm in Amsterdam. I'm looking at the same nigga shit over and over again because I'm grasping different things about the same work, right? That's the beauty of what Kendrick Lamar created. The only difference between him and other artists that are like that is that he's way bigger than them. You're talking about a stadium of niggas that want to buy into your culture and idea. That's it. You can't battle that. That's the problem that Cole is having with Kendrick fans, is because he's talking to these crazy Kendrick fans that are like, fuck everything you're doing. This shit ain't Kendrick. Because they bought into it.
Glad to see some love for my man John Forte on the in memoriam. You know that D'Angelo is going to be mentioned and centered and getting love in that. And like, obviously, like, you know, I love that. I knew D'Angelo as well. And like, you know, we'll miss him forever. This is one of the great artists of his generation. You know, John Forte is one of those artists where it's like, you know, you're not sure if they're going to put him in. So when he gets in, it's like, yes, thank you. Like, I'm glad that they recognized that artist too, you know, because he meant a lot to some of us, and it's a fairly recent passing. So sometimes, you know, I mean, they don't get people in, you know, at all, or if they die close to the deadline or whatever. So, I mean, you know, that, you know, and, you know, Lauryn Hill is a big reason why John Forte was pulled out of obscurity and into the world of the Fugees, right? It was their interpersonal connection, their musical connection, that brought him into that whole collective, right? And gave him viability within that group, which is where he starts to become a musician. So, you know, it was deeply meaningful that Lauryn Hill was sort of musically overseeing that moment when John's picture came up. So I mean, that was beautiful, and there was a lot going on there in that moment.
It's a big moment with Lauryn Hill. It was really big. It's a very big moment.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just a big moment of the whole.
What do you what do you say, Green?
Yeah, but the what I liked about, what was it, Orlando London? I forgot his name.
October London
killed that Roberta Flack song. Bilal killed it.
Yeah.
Leon Thomas came out. Raphael Sadiq. It was a great.
Isn't it crazy that they were giving this huge shout out to Roberta Flack because she recently passed away, and she did the dual record of the year in consecutive years, like Kendrick did.
Yeah.
So like, that's interesting. I believe she was 73, 74. So like, When is Kendrick? 75? When was he born?
Kendrick.
Yeah.
Kendrick 75. That's
So
so
when was he born?
old. When he was born, I'll probably be like 87. I
Oh,
think.
87. Oh, Jesus. I thought he was older than that. Okay, forget it.
75 is like 50 something.
So what's your point, nigga?
No, there's no point. I'm just saying your math sucks. I'm not making an age joke. I'm making you're a stupid joke.
My math was by math. Yeah,
was
fine.
way off.
Whatever.
Like
Whatever. Fine. Whatever.
75 is so crazy mathematically. But someone they've been going in. There's a small group in our comments that just talks about your comment to Jay-Z about Scarface. They're like they want answers so bad. It's like they're just like you said.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I think two things are going on in that moment, that interview moment, that I was definitely an East Coast bias heavy person at that time, and thought, the East Coast was everything, and the South and the West, for the most part, was like meh. So I definitely was seeing it wrongly in that way.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I'm exaggerating the position to try to get Jay-Z to make a comment about another person's career. Not personally, right? I would never ask an MC to comment on another man or woman personally, but like it was a string of like, let's talk about other MCs and how you feel about them. And he was a little reticent to say anything, right? Because he's Jay-Z, he's gonna keep his cards
especially close. Back then.
Yeah, he's not gonna say something that that would lead to another MC being upset with him, right? He's super smart in that way. But still, I gotta kind of try to lead. So I'm exaggerating a little.
So in modern terminology, you was messy. You was fucking messy.
I mean, it wasn't, whatever. I mean, like, I would certainly not make that point now, and I certainly wouldn't do that in that way now. But it was like, my position is not right because I'm biased, and I'm also from that standpoint, I'm going a little bit further to try to get him to say something, because I knew he liked Scarface as an MC. But trying to get him out, draw him out of like, say something about Scarface as an MC. I mean, to me, and
Scarface is the Jay-Z of like Texas. Like he's that guy. He always has been since he came out. That was an interesting perspective, but I get you. If you have that New York bias, which we should go into too, that New York bias is a strong thing. Like that thing.
I don't think I am New York biased in quite that way now, even though I still have.
I think it's hard to be.
For me, I still have tremendous respect for what New York does and the baseline that New York set out as far as this is what hip hop is. I mean, to me in that moment, I understand the opportunity to call me out or to dunk on me for the perspective that I don't hold now is totally ripe, and you should absolutely do that. But like, really, Jay-Z's elegance in that moment of not being drawn astray by the interviewer and by calmly say, and I didn't feel dissed or embarrassed in that moment. But when he disagreed with me, forcefully, and said, you're wrong, Face is much more complex than you're giving him credit for. But he did it in a very smooth and elegant way so that like, I didn't feel like I lost Face and now I'm mad at him or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like his performance in that moment is very cool. And he stands his ground in a really intelligent way. And to me, watching that moment 20-some years later, like that's what stands out to me of like, look how smooth he is in handling a conversation where he's like, you're bugging, but not gonna like, embarrass
he
me
like
about it.
asked you like, "Oh, is that what you think?" He made you feel okay to have that position, but saying that I am completely not on that side of the fence.
I mean, when you know him a little bit, for him to be like, "Is that what you think?" You know, he's saying,
It's
"Are
cheeky,
you
yeah.
right? Are you fucking nuts?"
Are
But
you
like,
dumb?
without saying, "Are you fucking nuts?" Other people would have made it into an entirely different moment emotionally, and he's very cool. And I think in that moment, you still see him being very cool at my expense. And I'm like, it is what it is. Every once in a while, as a reporter trying to get a moment out of a star, you may say something that's a little whatever, that the audience is like, what the fuck? Because I'm trying to get you to say something interesting, not to say something you don't believe, but to get you to say something you believe that is like, you know what I mean? A little beyond what you would normally say in your normal interaction. Trying to get past, like, everybody has like the mask and what they will say in general conversation. As the interview, I'm trying to get to the next level of what you would say, like when you're talking to your friends. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
met you met somebody you kind of know, you would give them this level of yourself. And you run into somebody you know, you're going to give them a deeper level of yourself. And the interviewer does not know you, but they're trying to get to a deeper level of yourself. How do I get to that? Well, there's a number of ways that I am trying to get you to say things that are even deeper.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
a beautiful conclusion to your to what because they've been hip hop fans have been just like, I want to know why you said that shit. How do you hate on Scarface or all that? But he knows what it is. He knows who Face is. Everybody knows who Face is. But that bias comes in, like East Coast has a bias, but so does LA has a certain bias too in a chip. The South kind of had that to an extent, not to the same degree as East Coast.
it's different because New York was first, so we look down on others, right? And when the South,
You did look down because now it would make no sense for the East Coast to look
correct,
down on
correct,
anybody.
but no, correct, but like, there was like when the West started blowing up, it was like their rhyming is not as complex as ours, and then the South started blowing up, and it was like, who are these Bamas who are barely talking? They're not as complex and as smart as our MCs. So there was I mean, I was definitely on that. There were definitely other people from New York who were on that, of like, our MCing is much more complex, much more thoughtful, much more for the head. Other people are, and then when it was like, like the West Coast got like multiple platinum MCs and y'all are struggling to get to gold. Oh, really? And like the South has multiple platinum MCs and y'all are still struggling to get to gold. This is before Biggie blew up, because Biggie was one of the ones who brought us back to some commercial relevance. It was definitely like, oh, well, perhaps we should pay more attention to what's going on, because the West Coast and the South guys are making an impact. If a million people like your shit, I should plug in and figure out why they like your shit. So then it was like, okay, you gotta freaking have a broader opinion about all this shit and not just stand on New York is the shit. I think the
Yeah.
South and the West always recognized New York thinks they are the shit. And in some ways they are, but we're going to do this our own way. So fuck them. But we do respect them.
No, so the true word of like bias is like a established prejudice against something, right? Whereas I think that after you receive some sort of like hate and non-acceptance, like if New York was accepting of LA right away, it'd be a different conversation, right?
Sure.
It'd be if it was just a real ass gumbo. I think at that time it's like, no, well, we're gonna stick to doing our shit and we're gonna really do our shit. Fuck y'all. I think that happened with LA, the South, and every single region, and that's why the regions kind of grew stronger within in their space. And in South, I saw someone say some crazy stuff in the chat just right now and saying that the South still makes trash. Outkast was a long time ago, and Killer Mike is 50 something. It's like, just because you don't like it, that's fine, but you probably don't care about music anymore.
Also tied to a general Northeast East bias in general.
Yeah.
Not just hip hop. we think we are smarter than the rest of the country. We may or may not be. That's a different, whether or not it's true or not, it's a different conversation. But we think we are. We think we have all the great institutions. We have the great schools. We talk faster. We do talk generally faster than people on the West Coast and people in the South. So we think that means that we are smarter.
And the newer things come to these cities. So you're right. It's a cultural bias that already exists within the people, let alone the music. It's just reflecting American.
So hip hop takes that bias and supercharges it. And of course, you know, New York hip hop is from New York. So we thought we're ahead. And for a long time, we were ahead. For a long time, hip hop, New York was the mecca of hip hop. It hasn't been that for a long time, but for a long time it was. And I think perhaps there was maybe some defensiveness in not wanting to see that as it changed, as the West Coast blew up and became, you know, sort of this cultural focal point for the culture, and then the South blew up. You know,
hip hop homogenized too, and we're just getting back into these different sounds. So we love the fact that there was regional hip hop. People are like, "Oh my God, remember the time when snap music was around?" Like I see people like remembering things with a different lens. Where during the time, people were like, "This shit's type of trash." Same thing with this blog era. So there was a conversation, and I want to get into it. There was a conversation I saw on Joe Budden's podcast about East Coast bias in the blog era, because Jim Jones went a little viral saying that he put Kid Cudi on, that Kid Cudi wouldn't be famous without himself, which is him trying to get attention. Great job for Jim. He put Kid Cudi on because Day and Night, Kid Cudi's big breakout track, Jim Jones did a remix to it, and that was played on New York radio all the time. But if you were really outside in the country, which I was, we were traveling to Texas doing South by Southwest at that time. This is me, young, traveling the country, trying to get on, play shows and stuff like that with my band. Day and Night was everywhere, online and within us.
But I remember the moment that Day and Night broke. You know what broke Day and Night? They played it on Entourage when Entourage was the hottest or one of the hottest shows on TV. Certainly for a potential Kid Cudi fan, Entourage was where they would be. So, I mean, like, they played that song on Entourage, just like a bit of it. And hip hop fans like me were like, what the fuck was that? And like run to the blogs to like find the record. So, I mean, like, it was not.
But that was later on. This is the thing. What people don't understand about that time period is what we know to exist now, which is just the norm, which is how you receive music is through the internet. That was not how it was at that time.
No,
but it existed underlying I want to say in the underground. It just came into fruition at that time. Whereas people were finding music online all over the country, all over the world. So it was already having millions of fans around the world, but became a mainstream thing from those mainstream type of exposures. He put it on 2 mixtapes. He kept promoting that thing. That thing was different. Kid Cudi was going to be Kid Cudi no matter what. Yeah, people talk about MySpace. It was the transition from the MySpace era to the blog era. 2007, I would say blog era stopped in 2013, 2012. That's really the end of it and the beginning of it, early beginnings of 2007. That man dropped that song in 2007. So it was the first one. That new Cudi was like a blog even. So that whole situation. But people having that New York bias, if you're hearing the Jim Jones version all the time on the radio, you ain't even on a blog. You don't even know what a fucking blog is. You're going to be like, this is how I learned about the song. That's just New York. That's just the East Coast, the tri-state area. Everybody else knew about the song.
Jimmy is a regional artist. And a regional artist in New York City seems national because New York is a national city.
Yeah, international city.
But Jim Jones is a regional artist. I don't think really many people outside of New York City care about him.
To that degree. Like, I think that Jim Jones is an international cultural name. I wouldn't just, but as an artist, he is a regional artist, if that makes sense. Like his brand internationally does exist, but his weight is really in his space as an artist is within New York City. And New York City is an international city, whereas if you that whole concept of if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, but you could also get trapped there because of the aesthetics and culture of New York. Like if you're not appealing to the larger,
he's a Harlem MC.
yeah.
And the Harlem aesthetic has less often become a national aesthetic. The Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx vibe can become national. The Wu-Tang vibe is just Wu-Tang, right? It's not like there's a group of people from Staten Island, but there's a Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx vibe that can become a national MC. Harlem is different. Harlem is amazing, but it's very specific regional vibe.
What about Mace?
What?
What about Mace? Cameron.
Well, those are two entirely different careers, are they not? Mace had
They're both from Harlem.
No, I know, but Mace was a national artist who had a bunch of hits, right? You really want to call? I mean, how many hits are we really talking about with Cameron? He had some big hits, but I'm like, you have a small number of big hits that really mark who you are. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, how many hits is he?
Cameron, really? Come on, Cameron is a cultural icon. Like it's undeniable. Like internationally, it's Cameron. You know what I'm trying to say? He's not in the same reigns as some of the like you like I get what you're saying about Queens and Brooklyn. We're talking about forever international superstars as in Jay-Z, 50 Cent, right? We're saying like that's what they've produced and Nas.
But look at this. I'm looking at his discography. First album is gold, second album is not. Third album is platinum, fourth album is gold. The last three didn't reach gold.
I don't know what you're trying to say with any of that. Because gold is freaking amazing.
This nigga has but you want to say he's an international star. He has one platinum album, and it's probably one-time platinum. I'm trying to figure out how many real hot singles.
He has Boy. He's got
one song ever that hit number one ever.
That's impossible. First of all, to hit number one, there's only like no. You talk about number one like Billboard charts or just number one rap?
Oh, I'm looking at number one rap and R&B hip hop. And
okay.
Oh boy,
that's smaller. I thought you meant I didn't know that. I was about to say him having a number one hit like in the nation. There's literally only like 1,500 songs that's ever did that.
But I mean, like there's a small number of joints that have been huge.
He's still a national star. All I'm trying to say, he's not Jim Jones. He's a national star.
He's much bigger than Jim Jones, but he's not as big as Mace. It hasn't been
fine.
that much.
I'm not making that argument.
A couple things it's a regional star who's blown up a couple of times.
No, you see, you can't give him regional star. He has a shirt with him wearing that pink mink or whatever. That is like a iconic shirt for people in Germany walking around freaking Amsterdam. They just have Cameron's face on their chest. So I'm saying his brand is international. It's big. Like I remember walking the streets and
his recording career is really Oh Boy and Hey Ma in 02. There's not a lot of success beside that. Everything
you have a very skewed
numbers.
Hey, Toure, you've interviewed people like what? Have you even interviewed Michael Jackson before? Like who's the biggest person you ever interviewed?
I mean, Beyonce, maybe.
Beyonce, right? When you have Beyonce and Jay-Z on your interview list, as in plenty of times talk to these people, you might have a skewed vision of what success is. Cameron had a very successful music career, and that's crazy. Like what you're saying is crazy. Like that's a very
I guess one platinum album and two songs.
You balled with Prince. You balled with Prince, so you have no.
I mean, we could name We could easily name 50 artists bigger than him. Easily, without trying hard.
50
and we could
rap
probably
artists that are bigger than Cameron? 50
easy.
with better music careers? Yeah, I think you can, of course.
Yeah, easy. Though that's without trying hard.
No, I don't know. I don't know if it's easily.
Actually, if we started to try, we could name another 25. Like he's
I think we could easily name 20. But when you say 50, that actually goes crazy because we're not talking about better, because we could say that Heavy D had more hits, right? You could go to MC Hammer.
Better is potential. I mean, you want to say that Cameron is a better rapper than Heavy D?
Skill set wise? Yes. Are you crazy?
Okay, nigga.
We have to take a commercial break.
That's
Toure
nuts.
has lost his fucking
That's
mind.
nuts.
We have to take a commercial break.
That's nuts.
Toure
You do understand. Just as New York artists, it's an interesting comparison because they're both real New York artists. Heavy D had tremendous flow, tremendous breath control, actually fucking rap. He could actually spit. Cameron is kind of talking on the mic.
I don't think you understand who Cameron is.
And please tell us, because Cameron just be talking on the mic. When I listen to Hey Ma, I listen to Jewels' verse.
It's a hit song.
Shit.
You can't.
No, but I listen to Jewels' verse, which is the shit. And then I rewind back to the beginning of Jewels' verse. Because Cameron, he's fun, but he just be talking.
Cameron is one of the nicest spitters out of Harlem. Like, he holds his own against Big L. Big L is insane.
Oh, Cameron holds his own against Big L.
Well, I'm saying, like, listen to this.
Talking about?
Listen to this. Big L and Cameron on a record. Cameron doesn't get swallowed up in the same way that so many artists before have. Big L is one of the nicest lyricists of all time.
Dead or alive. He doesn't belong in a room with Big L, dead or alive.
He literally was in the room with Big L.
I know, he should not be. He should not be. Oh my God. Horse and carriage. Horse and fucking carriage.
Why are you taking hit songs? Okay, let's talk about this for real. First of all, the flow of Cameron and what he's developed, he implemented so many different flows into MCing. So one, we have to put that out there. Big L is way better than Cameron. Stop talking. Let me finish. Big L is way better than Cameron, like next level. But I'm talking about Big L's so fucking good that other people on the song to me sound outdated when you go listen to his old music. Cameron didn't sound that way. So that's what I mean. That he hung on to one of the greatest lyricists of all time, which is Big L.
Did he win? Did he win Hey Ma?
He's like, Hey Ma. Huh?
Who's better on Hey Ma?
Who's better on Hey Ma?
Yeah, who had the better verse on Hey Ma?
Jewels. That's like his song. So, what are we talking? I don't know.
What is the song?
Understand where you're at with Cameron? Like, that's crazy.
You're like, he didn't get destroyed by Big L. He lost to Jewels. When is the song that he won? What is the song that he crushed it on that he won?
He held his own with Jay-Z.
Homie, acknowledge your quick.
He held his own with Jay-Z.
On what joint? On what joint?
The Jay-Z Cameron joint. What's the city joint? The New York one. I forgot the name.
Made an impression, huh?
Well, that song is not that great in general. It's just not. I mean, that song's not that good. Welcome to New York City. Yeah, welcome to New York City. I don't like the beat of that song. Welcome to New York City. I'm gonna get the. He held his own on that shit. Y'all, I mean, first of all, I'm gonna run a poll because I
whatever the fuck you want. Imagine this. You know that we could get Jay.
You just said Heavy D's a better rapper than Cameron.
Fuck yeah, we could get Jay-Z to spit on some right. You know Mace can do that, right? Could Cameron do that? You know Big L can do that. Can Cameron even do that?
Do what? What are you talking about?
That when Jay,
the fast rap?
A faster, precise rap that shows the breath control, and Cameron could do that. Thank you.
Yes, Cameron can do that.
When has he done it? He's been in the game for 30 years. When he do it?
Cameron has rapped fast before. So Cameron has different flows. He actually changed his flows over time and adapted his style, and then created different styles that people took over. Just because he got computers puting, people want to talk shit about Cameron. Like, he has bars. Like, what are we talking about? You gaslighting like a motherfucker right now. Talking about some Heavy D. You are disqualified. Commercial break.
I am not. I remember Heavy D. You don't remember Heavy D. You're too fucking young for that shit.
I know Heavy D. I know his music.
That nigga could fucking spit. That nigga have fucking flows. This nigga over here talking about wig split, melon cracked, all that on day one. Carry 8 guns, 2 in the trunk. 2. What? He's He's a personality.
You're saying that shit like it's not good, but you're just gaslighting. You're just saying wigs. That doesn't make it not good. What
it's not good. Bad. He's not a great as a New York nigga for a New York MCs. This nigga is not special at all. At all. If he didn't live in the fucking Mecca, you would never hear from him. Ever.
Never heard them. You don't know Cameron's discography, and that's why I can't have this conversation.
I know Horse and Carriage. I know Hey Ma.
Yeah, you just said Horse and Carriage and Hey Ma. That's surface level. Go to DJ Clue Professional mixtapes. Go listen to what Cameron did on his freestyles. Then we could come back. There's countless freestyles and mixtapes and flows. Dipset. Like you gotta update your Cameron knowledge. We'll move on from this because this is a moot conversation. We gotta be talking about the same shit. Moving on. Like, this nigga still drops verses on his damn podcast that go crazy.
What? You can come on here and drop a verse and people be very excited.
That don't mean it's gonna go crazy. Doesn't mean it's gonna go viral and people gonna be moving.
Famous. He's not a great. This is not a great MC. I want to hear the other one say something. He's an interesting MC.
If Heavy D came out with a verse right now, nobody giving a fuck.
Well, people would care a lot because Heavy D is dead.
Yeah,
so a verse of a dead MC would be fucking incredible. Oh my God. Are you kidding?
Care a lot.
Are you fucking kidding? If a dead MC dropped a new verse, oh my God. The whole world would stop. Wait a minute.
Here it is.
How does this happen?
No. Where does it say? This right here. This is how we end the conversation. Toure, it's okay to say you don't know Cam.
I'm a New Yorker, nigga. I've been inundated.
You ain't no New Yorker.
Trickle of this nigga's shit for fucking 20 years. He cute. When it was Diplomats versus Dipset, what number MC was Cameron on that stage? 5th best? Fourth best? Not number one in his
fourth. He was better than Jewels on that stage.
It's better than Jewels. When did that happen?
No, you said on that stage because number one was Jadakiss.
Jewels, but he was 4th best on the stage of Diplomats. And wait, so you put him behind Jim and ahead of Jewels that day?
No, you're saying in the Diplomats, or you're saying the entire stage? Because Locks
on the whole stage. No, on the whole stage. On the whole stage.
Locks is 3 niggas, and that's they're leaps and bounds beyond that.
So he's like 7th on that stage. That's what you're saying, right?
Who?
Cam.
No, after the Locks, now you get
the
Dipset. Jewels is not on top on that specific stage. That specific stage, that was the Dipset in general was kind of like sheesh on that stage. We're talking about Cameron on that stage was the best out of Dipset on that stage. If you go back and look at those tapes, go back and look at the tapes because I'm very into watching live performances and rap battles and the verses. If you look at the tapes, Cam was the best out of there, and all 3 of the Locks are better than anybody on that stage. And Jadakiss left Earth. Jadakiss left Earth. And let people know that I don't go in here and play around.
I don't do
clearly. I hit the lab. I come on stage and I show you what the fuck.
I don't do Instagram. I don't do Twitter.
One of the greatest hip hop moments of all time is Jadakiss letting people know that I rap. I am an MC and I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas is talking about.
And Dipset was over there getting mad
because they were still living
they were
off
getting
of the fly.
stomped because they got their asses kicked.
Understand that I was not that when it comes to MCing, I can think of so many rappers that there's too many rappers MCing that are a different level that leave Earth. Like Jadakiss is a different level. Let's go to this conversation that was wild to me. Jadakiss versus Common has been a talk online. And I'm like, why are you even matching? Like, why are these people be talking to me? But all rappers, all MCs need to be put out to the test. And when people were saying Common this, that, I'm more of a Common fan because he has better albums than Jadakiss. That's just plain and simple. But when it comes to verses and features and impact and bars, what can you do?
But also the sort of thing that you do in a battle context, Kiss is going to give you that. That's not who Common is. And I know that he has battled before, as in Ice Cube or whatever, but like, that's not really his lane. Really, his lane is to like educate, elevate, inspire, that sort of music. You know, I look at him a little bit more as like a hip-hop musician from a jazz aesthetic rather than a hip-hop musician from a drug war aesthetic, which is Jadakiss, which is like, you know, I'm gonna rip your face off talking about the vibe that we come from the New York streets when it was guns and coke everywhere. So I'm like, you know, I'm like, why would we be battling Common? Like, he's dope, but like
Common battled Ice Cube.
No, I know, but like,
and he held his damn own.
No, I know, and that was a long time ago. Also, there's an entirely different era in Common's life.
Well, I mean, we're talking about their careers and them as rappers. I'm putting in his entire career. Resurrection ushered in a whole sound into hip hop that still is here today.
Yeah.
Common made B. Common made Like Water is for Chocolate. Yeah. Jadakiss has not one thing that exists within.
No, we know. We know you can't compare. I mean, he's, you know, Common's got the better.
I feel like as an artist, when we're talking as an artist, because you make albums and you put out a message and all that, as an artist, Common's got that. As just a pure technician lyricist, Jadakiss got it.
I mean, yeah, if you put them both on a stage to spit like one rhyme or make one record about the other, it's almost certainly going to be Kiss.
Yeah,
but if
I don't know.
lay out their careers on a piece of paper, it's certainly going to be Common.
Let's talk about this, though. Jadakiss got in a battle famously with Beanie Siegel. I think Beanie Siegel got him. No one ever says who really won that, but my personal opinion, kick your ball over the fence to show you who yard is this. Beanie saying that took me out. I was out. I was just like, this nigga.
See, that's a battle, right? Like, that's two guys who are like same energy, you know, same street background, like same sort of like grimy coke rap, in your face, mean guy sort of shit. Like that fits to me. You know, they're in the same lane. If we were playing football, they're playing the same position, whatever position you want to call it. The defensive back, the running back, whatever, they're playing the same position. Common and Kiss are not playing the same position. So we're sort of like fitting two
quarterback versus wide receiver.
You know what I mean? We're fitting two different artists into each other's careers. Pause.
To a degree, but like I said, this is MCing, and MCing, like, I think we caught the delineation, but I thought that was fun because we never really put those artists together. Like that, they would never be in a versus Common and freaking Jadakiss. Like that wouldn't make sense. But a battle could happen with anybody, clearly. Common and Ice Cube battle. Like a battle could happen, just Common battled Drake too. I don't know if he
battled everybody.
That one, but
God damn. Corny ass nigga.
Everybody battled Drake. That's a
we should have a thing on the show where the audience must have a shot prepared for when we talk about when they finally get around to Drake and everybody do a shot. Because sometimes it'll be 10 minutes in. We got a good hour plus without mentioning Drake.
We kind of killed it.
We held it down for a while before Drake came up.
Is there anything else? That means we're ending the nearing of our broadcast, guys. If we're talking about Drake, we ain't got shit to say. No, but is there anything else about the Grammys that we wanted to say. And if you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat, super chat, or anything like that, so we could talk about it. But was there anything else in the Grammys that we missed? We talked about Kendrick, we talked about Bob Barney, and then we talk about Tyler's performance, the Clips. The Clips won. They got them. They brought some hardware. Who else won? Olivia Dean won. That was great. Best new artist. Who else won that? There was someone else that won that made sense. Did Doechii win anything?
I don't think so, which, you know, is a shame, but she hasn't really, she's been quieter the last 6 months, I think, you know, versus earlier. So maybe she's not, you know, I think she's really trying to drill down to get the album done. So some of the louder aspects of her career are not, you know what I mean? Like, so
she won best video.
It's a down moment for her, but like
Yeah.
there's not a problem. She's prioritizing something else. I imagine we'll get an album, you know, maybe Q2 or whatever, second quarter. And then, you know, the way I imagine she would be thinking about it, it would be the year of Doechii, and she would do things that would be like in your face, in your face, in your face, and like big video, big single, like big secondary thing. I wouldn't be surprised if she pops up in a movie, you know, with a music video that's like a movie, where it's like, you know, like the PR assault that we get when somebody is like right on their shit. Like, I would expect TDE and Doechii, because she's theatrical, because she's thoughtful, would come with the fire in 2026 to where we're like, okay, it's the fucking year of Doechii. Like,
and drop a single in Black History Month.
You know what I mean?
It's important. Get it going. Maybe because I just want some new music this month from somebody that is actually great.
Somebody in the chat asked me to smile. Am I not smiling enough?
That person's weird. Don't listen to him. Don't need you to smile.
Doechii got best video. We love that.
Yeah, definitely. She got best video. She got two, supposedly.
She's one of the great artists of this time, so we hope that she gets more than that. But I don't look at it as a snub, because I think, you know, this is where the Grammy audience thinks she is right now. It's okay. It's okay. We'll be okay.
Why is this a question? Is this really live? Yes. This is live.
How would we prove to you that it's live? Wait, it's 3:47 p.m. in New York City
right now. And if you're watching this later, hey, how you doing?
Can you imagine if I said the wrong time?
Yeah. Because sometimes lives as premieres. Yeah, but premieres are not in the same space. Who cares, guys? Look, who cares? All right. It doesn't matter. We're here right now with you guys, hanging out. We're sorry. Next Monday we'll do another live, since you guys missed us so much. But we're gonna. The questions are, talk about the Jay-Z Pusha thing. We're gonna make our own video, standalone video on that. So wait for that to drop. We got so many other videos to talk about.
We're definitely gonna do a video on this nigga's video.
Oh yeah,
King Green directed his own video, which is visually
shot in Cape Town and Japan.
What? It's beautiful. It's innovative. It's eye-popping. We're definitely gonna show that and discuss how you did it and what you did, because that video is dope.
And what it's about, and the lyrics, and then y'all could, you know, talk shit and tell me like, you be talking about all these rappers and you can't even rap. But that's false.
You can't say that nigga can't rap. You cannot say that.
Nah,
the nigga be spitting. It's not even a question.
Why was Kendrick's first tape rapped at the Grammys? We got a super chat. Why was Kendrick's fifth tape rapped at the Grammys? I don't know. Let's Google it. Let's see what people are saying. Why was Kendrick's fifth taped at the Grammys? See, this is live in real time. I'm Googling in real time.
He on his Goku shit.
Yeah.
Say Diego.
Nah, nothing. No one's talking about it. I have no idea, man. I thought he had like an injury, but then it started looking looking like on purpose or whatever. So it is what it is. I thought people would know. Boxer's tape. He's on his Goku shit. Any more, guys? Any more chats for our live broadcast to you peoples?
Can you
Bro never
imagine?
mentioned Chad in
Can you
his
imagine
speech. That's
thinking
harsh,
it's, yeah, imagine thinking it's not live.
right? Pharrell's not mentioned Chad. Pharrell and Chad are going through a whole legal dispute right now. That the whole thing, and then there's a lot going on over there.
Yeah.
As a black man, I'm disappointed in my. I don't care as a black man.
Oh God, it's much more than looking for validation from white people. These award shows are part of the industry in that they are part of defining who's moving up, who's getting more opportunities, who's getting more money. We can't ignore them, certainly not as performers. You know, and at least I look at the Grammys more as a moment when people are going to perform. I don't really care about most of the awards, but you can't just say we shouldn't care about what like, and I'm the most black centric person you're going to meet, but just sort of pragmatically, we
I don't know
can't
about that.
say,
You ain't Dr. Umar.
oh yeah, right, okay. Okay.
Most black centric person.
Dumb motherfucker. He's black. Okay, he's fucking cartoonishly black centric. But no, I mean, and I go through this when I talk about the Oscars. We just can't ignore these institutions on some pragmatic shit. I understand the vibe you're talking about we don't need white people's validation, and we talked about that on this show. We don't. We love Doechii. It doesn't matter that she only won 1 Grammy. If you love Drake, I feel bad for you, but it doesn't matter how many Grammys he won. You get joy from that artist, from Sinners, from, you know, Big X the Plug, whatever. It doesn't matter. Also, it does matter if you care about these niggas' careers. If you care about, you know, Ryan Coogler's career, if you care about Doechii's career, you want the artists who are moving you to continue to move up, to get more money, more power, more creative freedom to do what they really want to do. They need success in these realms, nominations and awards, and also for the Grammys, a great performance on the Grammy stage also helps you move up. You can't say this moment when the entire industry is together, just ignore that because they're mostly white, and like we don't have the luxury to be able to do that.
There's like, to say things like that and don't need Grammys is like, you also don't need a job. Like, you also don't need money. Like, I always simplify things. When you take these statements and you're putting it in through like a black perspective and saying, no, this European thing and this what else is European? What else is controlled and run by white supremacy? What are you doing in that space? So you can't look at these things and start judging them without thinking about them at every single level in life within this country. So you got to actually be for real and use your mind. Extend that statement, extrapolate it beyond. We don't need a Grammy. like what are we talking about? It doesn't validate us. These things can't validate us, just like money shouldn't validate you.
It doesn't validate us. It's not necessary, but it is also important to moving
Talk about
forward
Eurocentric while speaking English is hilarious. Talking about,
you know,
like,
yes.
let's think about what we're talking about. While you're typing in English, saying these Eurocentric, you're speaking English, my guy. Let's think about our society and then work after that. Take baby steps towards progression, please.
There is I don't think that it's white centric to be aware of what the Grammys and or the Oscars do as far as a relation to black art. I think it is important to notice what happens if you care about the industry of music and the industry of film. The vibe you're talking about, don't put too much on the white man's validation. Absolutely.
We on that. We've been on that.
We're with you on that. Also, artists and people who care about their careers do need to pay attention to what happens at the Grammys and the Oscars. And look, at a year when Kendrick was validated, when Delroy Lindo or Ryan Coogler might get validated at the Oscars, right? Like there is Doechii got some love this year. Like there is some. I'm not saying that we're in a post-racist environment in these situations. That's impossible, right? Like racial bias could never not be part of these things. It's baked into every part of these systems.
Hopefully one day in the universe.
But we are getting recognized appropriately in certain situations. Be it Doechii, Kendrick, whether or not Ryan Coogler wins is not the end all be all. I think the love for Sinners and the cultural impact, to me, to your point, the impact in the culture is more important. So what Kendrick and GNX, what Sinners did in the culture means more to me in my personal memory bank than what they do at the Grammys or the Oscars or the Pulitzers or whatever.
We have a show where I think we're at 200 episodes, like 50 of them are about Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? We have over analyzed and still want to analyze more the cultural impact of our artists. We're already doing that every day. This is one day that we are talking about
the Grammys.
The Grammys.
I would want to do a poll real quick if you could.
Hold on, before you say that poll, keep it. They said the chat's going on about Umar Awards, and we need to have Umar Awards. That's the Black Awards. We're gonna have the Umar Awards and said, fuck a Grammy, we need Umars.
First of all, it ain't gonna be called no fucking Umar Awards. We might call it the
That's the joke, nigga.
No, I know. We might call it the Mahalia Awards. Find some.
You trying to make it all real? Like we need a fake black nigga, a fake super black nigga name. Umar Awards feels like it's really black. It's like, oh yeah, I want an Umar. I don't want a Grammy. I want an Umar.
Oh my god. I mean, we can do that if you want.
Say what the poll you wanted to do.
I want to know if the people want a Bad Bunny halftime show recap like that night. Like, should we go like after the halftime show or right after the game and like break down like what he did and what happened? Because if it was a rapper, we would 100% do it. If it was a rock and roll singer, we would 100% not do it. And I don't know if there's enough feeling of Bad Bunny is hip hop adjacent enough that we should do that. Or
I can answer that myself, but I'm gonna do that.
Like, I mean, I don't know. Is it interesting enough to our fans that we should take the time either after the show or after the game and talk about the Bad Bunny halftime performance or not?
I think the answer is, of course, yes. Because first of all, these people just want to hang out with us, right? Y'all just want to hang out with us. Two, if we could do it. Two, Bad Bunny is a rapero. Bad Bunny started as a trap rap artist just in Spanish. Why do we forget this? Why do we just suddenly forget?
I didn't forget it. I didn't know that.
Crippy Kush. He made a song called Crippy Kush, and it's just a trap song.
Let me tell you something. When he started dating Kendall Jenner is when I became aware of him, and he was already like in commercials and shit. And I'm like, you need to catch up because this nigga is already huge. He's dating Kendall Jenner. He's in commercials for big. Like, you need to catch up because he's already gigantic. And I'm like, who is this nigga? I've never heard of him. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying just he did not hit my radar like that.
Which makes sense. I get it. I'm just a very tapped in individual in general. But then like when you're talking about Latin or like black all over the world, I always know what the fuck is
Spanish?
Going on. No, un poquito.
Do you understand Bad Bunny when he speaks in Spanish?
Yeah, I understand a lot of Spanish.
You understand Spanish, but you couldn't speak it.
A lot of Spanish. I do not understand Spanish because first of all, the different dialects and speeds and like a Dominican Spanish versus a Mexican Spanish versus Spain Spanish, very different. And certain people I'm going to be able to, like, if I'm sitting there and I'm hearing it, I'm be able to understand and comprehend because of, people that I grew up around. If you're like in Miami and stuff versus like I don't be understanding some of it.
I mean, so do you understand Bad Bunny?
A lot of the songs, yeah, but also I just know people and then know what the songs are.
Because
Like
I don't, which is not good or bad. It's just I don't, and
yeah,
I nobody in my circle who I talk to about music is checking for Bad Bunny, except perhaps you, the lone example of you, which is not good or bad. That's just what it is. Even as a New
I'm
Yorker,
different though.
yes, you are, but that's fine. That's fine. I mean, but like
I'm
so
very
just
genuinely curious about music. Most people are not.
I mean,
I'm
most people have a circle of folks who are saying
yeah,
to
in
them,
space.
have you heard this? Check this out. I really like this, whatever, whatever. Um, my world, the new Kendrick, the new Doechii, the new this, the new that, like have you heard the new clips? Like people are going to talk to me about that shit, Tyler, whatever. Nobody's ever said to me, what's up with the new Bad Bunny? That's not to take away from Bad Bunny. This is one of the biggest artists in the world. Just his fan base does not overlap with my corner of the world. So this
So you
is
got a lot of
new.
nigga friends.
This is new for sure, but this is new for me trying to
Look,
figure
I'm a
out
nigga.
who is this person. You know what I mean? And like I respect that he's huge, and it's me who needs to catch up. I get that. I did, man, I did try to listen as an American, again with the bias. It's
Bad Bunny's
hard.
American, by the way.
No.
I'm playing around.
No, I 100% know that Puerto Rico is American, but as an American, as opposed to a Caribbean or European, you are generally not exposed to other languages. You are generally not forced to know other languages. Certainly, for the most part, there's never any cultural thing that you're like, I really want to understand Beyonce, but I don't understand English. Or I really want to watch, that movie, that Tom Cruise movie, but I don't understand English. And this is part of the impetus in Japan and in China, in Germany, whatever, to like learn English so you can catch up with Beyonce, Tom Cruise, whoever the fuck. There's very little coming at Americans that's like, oh my God, I love Bad Bunny and I don't speak Spanish. I got to figure it out.
I grew up with a lot of people that spoke a lot of different languages, different cultures. And it's funny, the nigga that I grew up that speaks Spanish and full Spanish speaker is just nigga from California. Like he just learned it. And it's
No,
like,
I know. There's a lot of Americans who know Spanish. I know.
But it is. I think that's a huge. Obviously, it's a huge flaw in American culture of like thinking that everybody should speak English because that makes you less palpable to the world and experiences. Think about going to Japan or going to freaking Angola or all these places, and you actually speak the language. You're gonna experience it differently. I always go places and I'm like, I'm trying to learn the language so I can experience the culture differently, or you're just going to be fully have this big window between you and the culture experience.
I would like to know more about this Bad Bunny.
But the Bad Bunny album is good. We got a 78% says yes, we should make an episode. And we got a super chat from Jermaine. Shout out Jermaine for giving us a super chat. He says, Wayne spent a year crying about the Super Bowl and then started rapping about elephants. Drake is suing over a diss record, and Nicki, enough said. The cultural downfall of Young Money has to be studied. Yeah, we could probably do a video on that. But Young Money went. But when you look back at Young Money and the creation of it, it all makes sense in the end. Like we're talking about, it's very fabricated. Like it was put together in the old school, like, hey, let's get this person, this person, and put them together to make this successful group and unit versus like Wu-Tang, which we're from the same neighbors, and I put it together, but it was a vision and organic culture of them coming together. So those things always fail. Like you got to be brothers with the people you're in a clique with, or it's gonna turn into some shit.
New Edition on line 2. In Sync on line 3, there's a lot of groups that were constructed and then end up making it.
Well, making it, but I'm talking about then how bad they fall apart is what I'm talking about. Because I think most groups are constructed, honestly, in our past. But
oh God. Okay, now you're making me want to think. I don't think most groups are constructed as far as when you say constructed, you mean a manager has said, like, let's have auditions. Let's put him and her. Generally groups are one gender, right? Most groups are all male or all female, right? So
yeah, is there a group? Oh no, the Fugees. I'm about to say, what's a big group that had more multiple people?
Sly Stone, the Revolution, like the Thompson Twins. Like there's some multi-gendered groups, right? But for the most part, it's all one, right? But when you think about the groups that were created by managers, I think that's a far smaller number than the groups that were created by it's a group of friends, right? I mean, we really want to start going down like the many groups of friends of Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Naughty by Nature, U2, like Guns N' Roses. Like they were just friends who made the Beatles. They were friends who made a group rather than the manager put together the group. There's there's far less of that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I agree with that. But let's end this stream because we're having too much fun with y'all. It's 4 o'clock.
And we said, and just one thing, because I went through this before. Most groups are one race. It's a group of black men, a group of white men. Most groups are not multiracial.
Yeah, and I've experienced that firsthand of how confused just human beings are at when you have groups of different races. You know, that shit's fucked up. Like you're in a group, you actually friends with somebody, they have a different race. Think of like Lincoln Park or anybody that's like, oh, this guy happens to be Asian or this guy's Romanian, this guy is whatever, and you guys grew up together, and they're like, how the fuck y'all know each other? Like, it's impossible for you to be in a musical group with somebody of a different race because it's like, we ain't seen it before.
I read a thing that sort of started to explain it about when you start the group, you have no idea if it's going to work out or not.
At all.
And you spend a lot of time in very, let's say, low rent situations trying to figure out if it's going to work. So you're kind of like going to war against the world to fit, you know, you got to like tour maybe out of a van in shitty spots to see if you can get the first bit of a fan base, whatever.
Yeah.
So you're kind of going to war against the world. And when you're doing that, it feels good to a lot of people to be going to war with people who are like you. So that's kind of some of the vibe of why most groups are like, it's a group of black men, it's a group of white men, you know, maybe a group of white women or whatever. You know, obviously there's groups of black women too, SWV, whatever, TLC. But like there's a vibe of like, there's a unity of we're all the same demographic that sort of leads to we're going to war together. We're all, you know, all black men.
It's more so what you
most
said.
Groups are all the same. All black men or all black women or
Cat's
all
Eye
white
is
men,
different, and they were constructed. But I think it's more of what you were saying in the idea of that people come together like they're naturally. It was more natural groups that come together, and in our history, naturally the people who are making great music in certain communities are not next to anybody of a different
the
segregation. Race a lot of times. So if I'm in New Orleans and we're creating jazz and all that, we're not, nigga, we just made jazz. We over here. Like this is where we're at. There is nobody else. So, and then also you're talking about segregation. So you're still dealing with segregated communities even today. So how are you gonna mix and match up? That's why new artists, you'll see the mix and match and people accept it. Be like, you know, a Brockhampton or this new group out of New York called What More. There's a lot of groups that do have that now because these kids have seen that and they were raised in a school with all different types of people inside it. I think that's the real case study for that. But we could end this stream and we could talk about that some more. We got a lot more videos to do. Mañana.
Yes, it
and 76% says we gotta do that Bad Bunny shit. So we're gonna do the Bad Bunny shit?
Sure.
All right, y'all. That's Rap Latte.
$1 million in the bank.